do recommend the podcast, though. It's a really good one. It was a really good one.
All right, Samuel. That was great, man.
What was great? I'm sorry, dude. I don't got the best memory, bro.
Funny. It's okay. I'm just making it chain, though.
Yeah, Nick, you just load up.
Yes, sir. Just got
You got that awful double decky.
Invisalign, my guys. The new thing you got to try.
Oh, was it Invisalign? Thought it was like a Zimbabwe or something.
Invisalign.
Yeah.
Got
Okay.
the 9 a month.
Well, I would like to know, for this little trial run of a pseudo podcast, I think all of us either grew up in the Novus Ordo Mass or not Catholic at all. I don't know. You want to maybe tell y'all stories? How did you get to where you are today?
By you, brother.
Barely, bro.
Me and you, man. He's lower, man.
No, this dude is being super, like, nice because he was already becoming Catholic before, and then he just texted me.
That's true.
So.
Okay, listen. Okay, so me and you, Samuel, we met back in high school.
That's right.
And that was my sophomore year.
Mm-hmm.
Your freshman
year. Yep. Latin class.
2015?
Something like that, yeah.
2015?
Yeah, that sounds right.
No, 2014. Wait, hold on. No, 2014?
I graduated in 2018, so...
So it had to be 2014 then.
Really? It would be the 2014-2015 school year, 2015-2016 school year, 2016-2017, 2017-2018? Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
So
we've known each other for like 11 years.
Holy Toledo, man.
11 years, yeah, man.
Time flies.
I don't even I don't remember like if we had even talked about the faith at all. In the 3 years that we had Latin class.
The only thing I remember is that first day of Latin 1, Miss Winslow asked, like, you know, most people don't take Latin. You know, most people take Spanish or whatever. Why did y'all take Latin? And my reasoning at the time was like, well, I'm Catholic. So,
yeah,
you know, like Catholics like Latin. You know, it's probably a good one to take.
Yeah.
And there really was no reason other than that. But I think that's the only time I mentioned it.
I don't remember what my reason was. I think back then I wanted to be like a doctor or something. So I was like, you know, medical terminology stems from Latin. So I don't know. But also I had a few friends in Latin already. So, but yeah, that's where we met.
That's right.
And then I remember vaguely, I think it was still during high school, you had posted on your Instagram story, like probably an icon or something, or something about the faith that it like stuck in my mind. I know that it was some sort of image of the Blessed Mother, and that was like in my mind for like probably 6 years, 7 years before I even decided to convert. So yeah, 2021 is when I entered into RCIA through the Novus Ordo at one of the churches here. And then it was probably halfway through that, I think, probably November of 21, where I texted you like, "Hey man, what's up? Hopefully you still remember me, but I'm becoming Catholic and pretty sure you are too."
Yeah.
Then we just got talking about that, and then I think it was like a month later that you brought me to the Latin Mass for the first time. I think it was like the third week of Advent, 2021. Yeah, that was my first Latin Mass at St. Joseph's, and I remember like I had already obviously been exposed to the faith and was already in the study of it as a new convert, but going to the Mass for the first time, I was like, whoa, there's a deeper mystery there that isn't being transmitted through the new Mass, that I felt pulled towards, you know. And then I finished up RCA that next Easter at the church that I was going to, and then the week after Easter, low Sundays when I started going to Latin Mass only.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's been like a little over 3 years now.
Man, that's awesome, dude. I'll never forget.
Man.
I remember when you texted me, because I would say we were friends in high school. We weren't like super close.
Yeah.
But we were friends because of Latin and everything like that. And I remember we were in the computer lab, I think at one point, and you were really big into Taekwondo. I was pretty into Taekwondo myself, and we had gotten in like some argument or something like that. You said the founder of Taekwondo was
Choi Hung Hai.
Yeah, Choi Hung Hai. That's right. And I was like, nah, dude, it's Wong Kuk Lee. And you're like, no, dude, it's not Wong Kuk Lee. It's And we were like going back and forth. I was like, this guy doesn't even know what he's talking about. Like, this guy goes to some McDojo. He doesn't know anything he's talking about. This is insane. Turns out we were kind of both right in a way.
Yeah.
But I think most people consider like you would be more correct because of the way like Taekwondo is formed and stuff. Anyways, like that was like the one really big conversation we had, like full conversation we had in high school. But I was fascinated by your name because it was so long, dude. It's so long. And so I had typed out your entire name in my contacts, like full name, everything. And it just like stayed like that, and maybe texted each other like once or twice in the 3 years or whatever we didn't see each other. And then out of the blue, like late at night or something like that, I get a text and it's from Joachim Aloysius Wingson. I'm like, man, dude, it's been a while. And you said like, hey man, I'm trying to become Catholic, and like if I remember right, you're Catholic too. Just wanted to know about some saints. We have to have a confirmation saint or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was so hyped, unbelievably hyped. You can't even imagine. I was like sitting in my bed, like, let's go, dude. It's lit. It's lit was a big thing back then.
That's true. Yeah.
And I think it was the next day. It was either that evening or the next day. You and your brother came over. We had like a cigar, talked about all sorts of stuff. And I think Saya was at first pretty like cautious towards
Very
the Latin
cautious,
Mass and the society and everything.
Yeah. Particularly the society, because he was, I don't know if I should name drop, because he's a big guy in the Catholic world. Well, at least he used to be, but he was watching Michael Voris.
Yeah.
Dude,
that's how I started out too.
Really good. Yeah. But he did have a pretty good like set of videos for new Catholics, like learn the faith. And, so I was watching those, but also Michael Voris is very anti-society.
Very much, yeah.
Yeah, so Ty was talking because he had heard those stuff, and I didn't really know about it. So yeah, I remember that conversation that night. Sai was like very, well, he was asking a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Because he thought that he was just trying to find something wrong with it, and basically, and then me and him have talked about it a lot actually. You had answers for every question that he had, and
maybe not a good one.
Really, well,
good enough. It worked, so good enough, I guess.
Yeah. But yeah, that night that was a really good conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now, dude, it's like, now it's like, seems like every week there's new people going to that chapel.
Oh yeah, man.
The
new people every week.
It's awesome.
New families coming from the various parishes, and not just from the city. They come from like Austin. And, the people that were going to the Latin Mass there are now coming here because that one got canceled. I think it was last year.
Oh, the diocesan mass, the diocesan Latin Mass.
Yeah,
and that's the thing. Isn't in San Antonio they don't have any other Latin masses. Like they don't have their fraternity, Institute of Christ the King. Like the only Latin Mass is the SSPX.
So
there is one. There's one at St. Timothy's.
Oh, is it still? Do they still have
Is
it?
that
I thought they
Indel
got
or
rid of
no?
that.
No, they still have it. Yeah, and that's just part of the regular San Antonio. Um,
Archdiocese.
what's it? Yeah, yeah. And that's
Do more
it's just there, and then at
do more people attend that one rather compared to St. Joseph's?
Not really.
don't
Well,
really
not.
know. I haven't been there in probably 2 years.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But a lot of my friends who are in between St. Joseph's or St. Tim's, they will go there often.
Mm-hmm.
And I do know that their numbers have grown in the past year.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Which is good. Yeah.
but yeah, I don't really know if it's more than chapel, but yeah.
Nick, I don't know what you know about the. I don't remember what the proper name for it is, but colloquially they call it the Anglican Ordinariate. Do you know much about that, Nick? I know Joey's probably familiar because they're in San Antonio.
Mhm.
The Anglican
Yeah.
Ordinariate?
Yeah, basically
Yeah.
it was a bunch of Anglican and I think Episcopalian, which I don't know. It's kind of the same thing if I understand right. But a bunch of their priests had wanted to become Catholic, and there was some process by which they came into the Catholic Church. And
Like Taylor Marshall?
yeah, actually, that is like Taylor Marshall. So Taylor Marshall,
Yeah.
I don't know if you could say he almost became a Catholic priest, but he was in that process, and yes, he says he discerned out of it. He has a funny story, I think, with Cardinal Dolan, but
Yeah, yeah.
but yeah, so that's basically what it would have been if he were to become a priest. Like he could have, even though he was married. So Anglican Ordinariate priests, even though they're Roman Catholic priests, they can technically be married, so long as they get married before they became a priest. Kind of like a lot of the Eastern Catholic churches do. I don't know if all of them, but I think Byzantine priests, like a Ruthenian Catholic, I think can be married. I think a Maronite possibly. I don't really know. But anyways, the only reason I bring that up, they have a pretty traditional liturgy, a pretty reverent liturgy. I've heard people describe it as, basically the Latin Mass, but the English translation of the Latin Mass. And I haven't been there in years and years and years, but if I remember right, it is pretty close. There's not a whole lot of difference. I think they have one other prayer that maybe comes from the Anglican Book of Common Prayer that I guess the Catholic Church didn't see an issue with, that they leave in their liturgy. I don't remember all the other differences, but it's very beautiful. It's ad orientem, lots of incense, no altar girls. They use a communion rail, communion on the tongue only. They don't do communion in the hand, if I remember right.
Yeah.
But they're in San Antonio, and it's called Our Lady of the Atonement. It's a very beautiful church, probably the prettiest church in San Antonio, in my opinion. But they used to have a Latin Mass, and then somehow it got crushed, and I know that was a big disappointment for people. And there was some excuse, like I think they said something about the priest who said it had some scandal. I don't know how much I believe it, or I really don't know much about it anyways. But that was the other one a lot of people would go to. But then when they stopped doing that, you really just had St. Timothy's, or it might have been St. Pius X at the time, because it used to be St. Pius X, and then you had the SSPX chapel. So a lot of people came over for that as well. And then Easter, COVID Easter was a big one too. We were the only church open during COVID, I think in the entire archdiocese, which is like mind-boggling. But
Yeah.
anyways. But
I mean, overall, the Latin Mass is hard to come by, but, it's definitely growing for sure.
yeah.
So it's just, I think, a matter of time, We just got to be patient. Let God's active will be carried out.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I guess to get into how I started out in the Latin Mass.
Yeah,
it's
dude.
kind of
Let's hear it.
I mean, I don't know. It's like interesting, and I don't know, maybe boring. Who knows? But
it was mostly your brother,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. So I'd been going to the Novus Ordo until I was around 12.
Mm-hmm.
And first of all, I think even though we were Novus Ordo, I thank my mother a lot for instilling at least some traditional values as it pertains to the Catholic faith, because we had, we didn't like the fact that our church, had Eucharistic ministers. They gave communion in the hand. They didn't have a communion rail. They had, women altar servers, things like that. Like um, my mother didn't like any of these things, and she taught us, the reasoning of why it's wrong and things like that. So there were already issues that I had with it, even at a young age. I mean, I'm only like 12 years old when we left, but still in my head, I'm like, oh, my mom says it's wrong, so I think it's wrong too.
Yeah.
I don't know. So, but I understood why. I mean, in principle,
Mm-hmm.
even I guess the zeal wasn't quite there for me at a young age. But I never really liked going to mass. I'll be honest. I thought it was boring, and I thought it was kind of cheesy.
Mm-hmm.
So it just wasn't it for me. But I didn't know anything else. I didn't even know the Lad Mass existed.
Mm-hmm.
And my brother, when he was in the Navy, he was in the Navy, I think, for 4 to 6 years. And he was stationed in Seattle, I believe. And I could be getting some small details about the story wrong. But from my understanding, he found a mass just to go to, while he was, he was on base there in Seattle and he was stationed there. He could go somewhere to mass. And it happened to be a Latin Mass, and he didn't know what it was. And so he found out what it was. I don't know if it was an SSPX church or not,
Mm-hmm.
but he ended up telling the rest of my family, like, why are we not all going to this mass? Like, he did his research, and then my mother could recall from a young age, like, when all these changes were going on and they were implementing the Novus Ordo. She could remember, like, going to the Latin Mass, like her mother taking her to the Latin Mass, and she, like, knew about it, but she just thought, oh, it's too far, or, whatever, it's, I don't know. It was just kind of in the back of her head. She didn't think of making that step. And then, my brother kind of just pushed our family to, make that change.
Mm-hmm.
So 2010, I found myself at St. Michael's, which is where Sam, you and I met.
Yeah, dude.
And because you happen to come drive down an hour and a half from College Station while
yeah,
you were
dude.
at A&M.
Couple
and I'm like,
Aggies up in here.
Yeah, I was like, oh, dude, I went to A&M too, and I guess I'm not wearing my ring right now. But are you?
Neither. No.
Oh,
I thought about putting it on because I was like, if I ever find myself doing this in the video, like, oh, I see I'm an but it's like,
yeah. So, anyways, as I was saying,
I should go get it. Just, I'm not going to. I'm not going.
We're not representing the cult very well, dude.
Not very well.
We gotta make sure the cult stays strong.
Hey, Dr. Marshall doesn't wear his ring either. I've noticed that.
Dang. He's not part of the club.
Hey, Margot. Sorry.
Yeah,
sorry for that rude interruption. I'm just kidding.
Oh my goodness, dude. Next time I talk to Margot, I'm gonna be upset.
It's on site.
Very upset. Okay. Anyways, before I was rudely interrupted. Just kidding. So 2010, we find St. Michael's. I'm a little 12-year-old dude. I go to my pew and I'm just like, what the heck is going on? It's like they're speaking another language. I have no idea. I can't even see what the priest is doing. And I don't have a missal or anything. I don't know what's going on. None of us really know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
But I think like everybody kind of has their own experience on just having, I guess, part of their soul uplifted and just saying like this, I can tell this is reverent. I can tell that this is directed towards God. Like this has a higher purpose.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't like about us. Like it's about God. I could feel that there was something there, even from a young age. Like I was able to kind of recognize that. And, I'm not saying right away I had this extreme zeal for the Lad Mass, but it was only 45 minutes away from where I live. And I mean, we kind of just thought, we could tell this is the truth. Like this is what we're supposed to do. And so we just started going every week, and pretty soon after, and at this point, I'm one of 6 children, so I have 5 siblings. At the time, there were only, I think, 2 siblings that were not going to the church, so all of the rest of us, or maybe I think it was only 3 of us that were going. It's me and my 2 sisters at the very beginning. So one of my sisters talks to the choir director there, and they're like, I don't know, making conversation, introducing, and then my sister ends up like, they ask her to join the choir. And then she's like, oh, I can get my brother to join too. And so I was, my sister asked me, and I was like, okay, why not? So I joined the choir the first year I'm there. And so here I am, 15 years later, and now I'm the choir director of the very same choir I joined. So I've been at the same church for 15 years and been the choir director there for 5. So
it's the beginning of the end for you, man. Just took. I'll get my brother to join. But dude, you're pretty musically talented, man. Actually, both of y'all are. Both of y'all are really talented.
I've heard Nick sing. It's really, really good.
Yeah, you know he plays the trombone too.
Appreciate that. Yeah, I got it right here. I got it right here next to me.
Really?
Yeah.
I have a bass.
Maybe one of these
right
days.
here.